Hello and welcome back to the Left Bench TV. I'm Steven Mehling.
And I'm April Howard. We're happy to be back virtually and updating you on everything happening with Maryland athletics. The calendar reads March, so that means it's tournament time here in College Park.
We'll spend most of today's show bringing you the latest from Maryland teams competing for postseason championships, starting with Mark Turgeon's men's basketball squad.
After a brief moment of uncertainty on Selection Sunday, Maryland men's basketball was awarded a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament, matching up with the 7th-seeded UConn Huskies. It was a rematch of the 2002 Elite Eight, which of course Maryland won en route to its only national championship. This past Saturday, the Terps pulled off the mini upset 63-54 behind Eric Ayala's game-high 23 points.
I think defensively, we have been pretty consistent throughout, really for about 6 to 7 weeks. We've been really consistent. I think offensively is where it's really getting better. Of course, it looks better when you make shots like we did last night, but just our execution, our understanding of our teammates and all that stuff. So it's come together.
After a regular season where no one expected the Terps to even make it to the big dance, clearly they defied the odds. But their time in the postseason would end there. They met the Crimson Tide of Alabama in the round of 32, and March Madness turned into March Sadness for Terp fans, as Alabama took down Maryland 96-77. Aaron Wiggins scored a career-high 27 points on the night, but it wasn't enough to stop the best three-point shooting team in the country.
This team, they fought. Everybody counted us out the whole year. We was 1-5, counted out. We was counted out before the year, but we was 1-5 in Big Ten, counted out. 4-9 in Big Ten, counted out. Lost our last two regular season games, still counted us out. So I just told everybody how proud of them I was for never giving up. That showed a lot of character and to just, carry that same mindset in life. And words can't really explain it right now, but it was surreal.
Maryland is set to lose 3 seniors in Daryl Morcell, Galen Smith, and Reese Mona. But due to COVID-19, they will all have the option to come back for a 5th year, as granted by the NCAA.
After taking home the Big Ten tournament championship, the Maryland women's team continued their success with a blowout victory in the opening round of the Big Dance. The Terps took on their in-state buddy Mount St. Mary's, but weren't as friendly on the court, annihilating the Mountaineers 98-45, led by sophomore Ashley Owusu with 22 points. 5 Terps scored in double figures, and Chloe Bibby racked up a double-double.
Loved how we came out and played yesterday. I thought we played a really complete, dominating 40 minutes. Awesome to be able to have just the depth that we were able to show in that game.
And although the Maryland men's basketball team was unsuccessful in their bid against Alabama, Terp fans can still look to the women in their attempt to hold it down in the round of 32, where they too will take on the Crimson Tide. Our Kevin McNulty spoke with the Testudo Times reporter Lauren Rosh to examine the Terps' path and the rest of the Big Dance.
Thanks, April and Steven. And now it's my pleasure to be joined by Lauren Rosh, women's basketball beat reporter for Testudo Times. And Lauren, let's start with that run in the Big Ten tournament. And how is that going to gear them up to go deep into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, well, first, thank you so much for having me. But pretty much after they had that, they lost twice in the regular season. And after they lost to Ohio State, which was their second loss, they've really just picked up the momentum and they've been building ever since. So kind of all that momentum building started before the Big Ten tournament. They clinched the regular season title. They clinched sole possession with their win over Penn State. And from there, they've just really been rolling. And they've had these national championship aspirations since before the season even started. In November, in the preseason availability, they were talking about how much drive they have to win a national championship and how much they were waiting for March, and their time is finally here.
Yeah, and then on Monday, they got the chance to play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of players on the roster that have never played in the tournament, of course, canceled last year in 2020 because of the pandemic. Now getting this opportunity in the round of 64. It was a game they were expected to win over Mount St. Mary's in-state team, but they didn't just win. It was an absolute blowout, 98-45. What made the offense explode for the Terps there in the last 3 quarters?
Yeah, so in the first quarter, Mount St. Mary's kind of hung around, but in the second, it was honestly the defense. They just shut them out. Mount St. Mary's only scored 4 points in that second quarter, and Maryland's explosive offense was really able to take it away. I mean, Ashley Owusu, who's kind of been their leader this year, has been able in the second half, I think, had 10 points and just continued to dominate on the court. And it was really the combination of their offense and their defense against Mount St. Mary's that really led them to that incredibly dominant victory.
And you mentioned Owusu. She led the Terps with 22 points on Monday, 9 of 14 shooting. How critical will she be against Alabama on Wednesday and then for the rest of Maryland's tournament run?
Yeah, I mean, she will continue to play a huge role for this Maryland team. She is a leader for them, both in the stat sheets, but also as a vocal leader. She might be a little bit more on the quiet side, but that doesn't mean she's shy at all. She knows how to lead her team. But we saw in the tournament, Maryland played a game where Ashley Owusu was in a little bit of foul trouble and was sitting, and Maryland was still able to win and put up explosive numbers. So every single person on this roster can score. I mean, they have 6 different players who average 10 or more points, and they're the top scoring offense in the country. So Ashley Owusu leads that, but the rest of the team is able to get it done also.
And the Hemisphere region where Maryland resides right now down there in San Antonio, pretty chalk. All the higher seeds advancing into the round of 32. Do you get the sense that Maryland might be looking ahead to a potential Elite Eight matchup with number 1 seed South Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're just taking it game by game, day by day. They have with the tournament play, they are so grateful to be having just another practice after what happened last year and losing the tournament and losing after, the Big Ten regular season. So I think that it's definitely they're looking to it a little bit, but I think they're really just focused on this matchup with Alabama that's coming up. And Alabama had a pretty explosive win last night against UNC. So they're looking forward to that.
It's Maryland women's basketball Wednesday at 1 p.m. They're taking on Alabama in the round of 32. Lauren, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck covering the Terps the rest of the way.
Thank you.
We sure will be looking forward to seeing if the Terps can keep dominating this postseason.
Now, while Monday's win seemed effortless for the Terps, the weight of the NCAA women's tournament has gained national attention. Last Thursday, Oregon women's basketball player Sedona Prince posted a viral TikTok video about the disparities between the women's and men's weight rooms at the tournament.
I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room.
Maryland's Faith Massonis weighed in on the controversy surrounding the difference in amenities at the men's tournament versus the women's tournament.
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing that we've seen the pictures and the disparity between the weight rooms, but honestly, we came here to win a national championship, and that's what we're focusing on. Clearly, the NCAA is taking steps to address it. I just hope it's swift changes so that they are equal. But we just are excited to play in March Madness and to go as far as we can.
Now, just 2 days after posting the video, Prince posted another TikTok showing the updated weight room. But there's still no word on the status of the food the women have been getting since the changes.
The Maryland gymnastics team made a name for themselves after placing second and earning their best score in program history at the Big Ten Championships this past weekend. Their performance has earned them a trip to the NCAA Regionals in Tuscaloosa. The Terps will face Eastern Michigan on April 1st at 4 p.m. for a play-in meet. Should they win, they'll advance to the first round on Friday, April 2nd.
So, April, it really seems like the Terps can't escape the Alabama Crimson Tide in the postseason at all.
That's right, Steven. I mean, they sure did a number on us with the men's basketball brackets.
And the Terps did a number on other people's brackets when they busted the last perfect brackets in the tournament challenge by beating UConn in the first round.
I mean, hey, that's what the Terps do sometimes, cause upsets.
Sadly, not against Alabama, though. Anyways, that does it for this special winter postseason edition of the Left Bench TV.
Be sure to keep up with all of our coverage of the winter postseason and ongoing spring sports at the Left Bench on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
We'll see you next time.